Hello, I'm Medium MD Tank, and welcome to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. Today we have a game from round 1 of a Discord Cup. It was one of the last tournaments to be played before the tournaments were reinstated on Advanced Wars by Web. And this is a high funds match between me and Kantbei, however it's pronounced. So this is on the map Kaqnstorm. It's a very exciting mixed base high funds map. You'll note it starts out, each player has 2 bases in the corner, and then you get, so I have my 2 here, and then I have 2 more here, which are kind of separated. And then you each have a lab near the airport, and then there's these 2 labs in the center. There's definitely a challenge for each player to try to join these 2 forces against this base before this base overwhelms one of the other bases. There's quite a few contested properties, and then you also have kind of the corner properties are pretty far away from everything, so infantry can get into fights over there. So let's see how it plays out. Kantbei has a reputation for being a strong strategy player, good openings, strong fog player, researches fog openings a lot. I tend to be a little more of a tactics-based player, so we have kind of some different play styles, and we'll see how that plays out. So starting off, there's definitely a lot of incentive to get as many infantry out for captures as possible before you build vehicles. So I'll just go to the first vehicle builds here for me. So I wanted to, get out enough infantry to get to the major points on the map. So this one, I delayed this one instead going for here for this chain, and then getting started over here, and then going for the airport, this chain. Sort of not getting the comm tower right away, wanting to get this property instead, which could possibly be contested. I'm not exactly sure why I built the vehicles, why I did here. Perhaps thinking the artillery can hold off a lot of different stuff here. And maybe wanting tank to start putting on some pressure. Or perhaps feeling that like the artillery would be another turn slower or something. I'm not sure exactly why. Yes, so you could build an artillery here and then get it over here, which seems fine. I think I probably should have built an artillery here. Anyways, so Kantbei responds with a double vehicle build over here. So the recon, it was to be able to afford 4 vehicles, but it's quite a strong build. Especially Jess recons will do a lot of damage to an artillery. It doesn't have exactly the best path to go to right now, but we'll see what it can do. Maybe it can start to work on these infantry or something, backed up by a tank. This artillery, so maybe it's going to start pushing up to this property, or to try to keep me from taking the comm tower. Seems like a pretty strong opener there. And also this tank too. It is nice that I was able to get this out to protect. But here we see the interrupt on the comm tower with the artillery backup. And I think I'm going to want to fight into this, but not going to get that comm tower anytime soon. So I'm able to slip the artillery over to here, and it's not in range of either of these vehicles, and it's protecting the city, so that's pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what my logic was with... So, I guess the tank is protected over here, and it can slip out over here. but I'm still in pretty defensive posture against this army. I am establishing an income advantage, and I'm sort of getting to my properties a little faster and trying to just kind of maximize that and not take any critical damage. You know, I don't mind so much being delayed out of my comm tower in a high funds game because the units already have a lot of power. But I do care about income. Each property is 2,000. Adds up quickly. And so I definitely have started to do some advancement down to this corner here. But he's trying to be aggressive here. And maybe this aggressive play is to stop me over here. We'll see. I have a nice little tank force here, but that's not going to do anything to a Neo, and my lack of artillery is coming back to bite me because they're very efficient against heavy tanks, of course. Yeah, I'm still confused about this aggressive move over here, though. I am going to be able to kill that recon. Sorry, what was that? Oh yeah, so I moved the anti-air over here, which does mean that this anti-air cannot go defend against a copter down here. And I do have, so I know that if I want to have this one anti-air help out, it would probably have to, you know, go retreat down here or something, but then it might not be able to help out very much here. So I built a second anti-air even before the first air unit, with expecting this one to just not be going down here and just helping out this army. There's only one tank, so maybe it can get some work done still. Force some vehicle builds at the very least. So that Neo, yeah, I still don't have an answer for that. Yeah, so some more aggression on my infantry. Still don't have that comm. Yeah. The tanks are going to take Vex and punishment, but keeping your opponent's infantry count low in high funds is pretty valuable. Okay, so I'm smelling blood over here. This double artillery build was definitely going to make a very strong push, but he needed some more defense for his army right now, because I can take a little bit of advantage of that. And these infantry are kind of boxed in. You know, that's a lot of units that can't really do anything. And here I'm trying to chew through these tanks. That's a little bit of a feisty move, but I don't have a lot of support over there either. Regrouping over there. He is still the big boss over here. So the other anti-air able to move down, help me start to take the corner, and I'm able to get a power activation before Jess, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure if I had to go on the road here to get charge or not, otherwise it seems better to just attack from the city. Oh, excuse me. That unit's going to capture the city. This is more to block the airport than to actually attempt to capture. Probably not needed though. Seems like my artillery is safe over here. Might be some value in drawing that tank away, I don't know. Maybe it's a waste. Okay. So, in this turn, I do manage to make a tactic that I think helps me a lot in this game. This copter attack right here. Specifically being able to move the copter here and have it wall off. So as long as he doesn't get... Yeah, so even with overdrive, that shouldn't be enough to take down the copter. And so, you know, this unit was the only one that was in capture range. It can't capture. The whole army is going to have to set up for another turn. And this was pretty much for free as far as I can tell. And the situation right now is that I have a pretty significant income lead, and I'm just trying to hold on to that as long as possible, have it kick in, get a higher value army. Already, at this point, the values are equal before builds, which means that I'm about half a turn ahead of where I should be. So that tank here able to clear that out, but there's no infantry waiting to recapture. And now this anti-air, both blocking down my airport and threatening to allow these two infantry to retake the corner. But this big army over here has to regroup. Lack of pressure over here, letting me kind of get away with a minimal amount. Do have to contend with that. So this army's, you know, slowly moving in, but they probably want it to be a little faster. So I do decide to interrupt here. That was the only way I could stop that capture. Defense here looking a little flimsy. Got the staircase on the road. Not the best. I got a Neo here. This is probably where I should have built a Mega right now. There would be stuff in blasting range. We'll see if I end up building a Mega or not, but often that's the difference in whether an opponent base trades or not in high funds, and you always got to keep that in mind. You know, easy to forget about Mega tanks if you mostly play standard, like I was mostly... I think this was one of my first high funds games. So getting used to the unit composition in high funds is very important. So here we have the Jess Overdrive Super. Going in. Taking on my wall. Neo Blast Tank. Tank Blast Artie. Chewing through my units. Jess Overdrive. One-shotting artillery is very strong. Plenty of artillery defense. Retreating this army back out. Builds another Neo. See how I respond. The Trail of Woe Super. Still have to take 2 tanks for that one, because I'm not on the road. That's a little feisty. At least I'm on the road for it. And at least I have some artillery backup. But these two are kind of lagging behind a little bit. So, left with only 4 HP of infantry over here can't capture much easily. But retaking this corner. And starting to work on my black boat here to take my lab. I do still have this lab, but it's also not that far from that base. And I've lost that base. So I'm not sure if you can call it a base trade if I'm not going to get the base. It's just a lost base. There's also been this copter that's stuck all the way up across the map and is airport locking me now. And I don't have an anti-air. And I could build a fighter if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. Yeah, and now it's able to block my airport for good. I don't think I built any more air units, spoiler alert. So I am possibly getting that lab at least. Now it's quite an army that's assembled up here. And it's taken my lab. The income for Kantbei is very good. And so is the unit count. It's 10 more infantry than me. But I do have a higher value army. Some of it's over here. So I do get off Trail of Woe. Get off my super first. Purple ammo. Persido. Ooh, that's the big one. Mega on the Neo. Right out of the gate. With a Koal movement. Blast, blast, blast. Neo on Neo. There's 4 corner infantry. I had to still be cautious with these artillery. It's not the best wall, but it is a wall. Here, the overdrive counter super. Let's see what Jess's worst is. Blow up the arty. Blow up the Infi. Severely weaken that artillery. I've abandoned sort of this push beyond this limit. Which also makes the Mega Tank a little cost inefficient here. So I'm looking at, you know, it looks kind of like the core of my army just got beat pretty bad. And there's this huge army in the center. And my opponent just supered, so they have a stat bonus. But, yeah, so I have the Mega Tank. Let's back that up. There we go. Boom. Alright. The heavy tanks from that heavy income are starting to come in. And so last turn it looked like there was this huge army in the center and I was all scattered, but now what does it kind of look like? Kind of looks like I had this surround of heavy tanks. So let's see what can get done here. Well, first of all, we do see, yeah, so, you know, continuing to block my airport, continuing to take caps. The income, 46 them, 34 me. Not great. There's this huge army in the center, but like I said, it looks like I might have kind of a surround here, and it just walked even more forward into sort of the core of my army. And I have Koal movement. So now these back Neos and the medium can both set up a wall and destroy the back of the army on this part. That's the front of the army. And so now, army value wise, I'm looking pretty good. I still have this lab. I got this lab. He's got the center ones. Going after the infantry, it's pretty smart. Mega tank coming in. This artillery, I guess running away from this. So here, Mega tank gets a big blast on the boat. So now I can start capping the labs. So my thought here is that I'm gonna have a really hard time regaining the income lead again. I wanna end this with the lab caps with the army value that I have now. Mega tank's creeping in. If this mega tank gets here, it could easily interrupt the cap. So I'm setting up this capture here. So first thing I set up, so basically this mega tank, it doesn't have any great options, and I would have enough firepower to probably take care of it. So Kantbei, perhaps not. Oh. Alright. Hopefully that's fine. So perhaps not seeing the situation here is sort of just combining his army. But I have this lab. I'm about to get this one, and then that's the last one. I use the power to get the defense bonus, and I start just building a wall and destroying all of the units that could get it within range, and setting up this impossible wall to protect this last capture. There's no air unit in range. The overdrive, but alas, what can you do? There's the resignation, and there's the game. So definitely pretty back and forth. I used to have this space, but I lost it, lost the airport, but was able to take the advantage that I got from all the income and take the labs. So I thought it was a pretty exciting game, and I had fun with it. It's always fun to play against Kantbei. It's never a dull game. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed the game. Feel free to leave comments. Hopefully the audio is a little better this time. And I'll see you next time. Feel free to like and subscribe, and have a good one. Bye.